Thank you very much for that kind introduction. Thank you all
از همه شما تشکر میکنم که اینجا هستید.
and particularly warm greetings to the residents of اشرف who I understand are watching this today.
من ما را امروز تماشا میکنند.
This is the 60th year since the founding of MEK, and of course, a lot has changed in that time, although in a sense, a lot has not changed. MEK was founded to oppose the tyranny of the Shah. It continues to oppose tyranny. Since 1979, and now, the tyranny of the mullahs. The late Senator Joseph Lieberman, a great friend of MEK and a personal friend of mine and law school classmate from law school, referred to Iran as the unfinished business of the 20th century. And it still is the unfinished business of the 20th century. We're meeting today across the street from the headquarters of the United Nations, an institution that should have been of help.
ارگانی که باید کمک میکرد.
A man named Masoud Pezeshkian has come to the United Nations to attend the UN General Assembly, claiming to represent Iran. But of course, all he represents is the tyrannical regime of the mullahs that for the moment controls the country. When Pezeshkian took office, another law school classmate of mine circulated an email to the class saying that we should all be encouraged because it's likely he will be more liberal than Ibrahim Raisi, the mass murderer who was his immediate predecessor. The reason why my classmate thought Pezeshkian was likely to be liberal is that he is a physician, a cardiologist who practices the healing arts, and so surely he must be humane. As I pointed out to my classmate and to the others at the time, Bashar al-Assad of Syria, who kills hundreds of thousands of his own citizens, is a physician. The late Ayman al-Zawahiri, who succeeded Osama bin Laden as head of Al-Qaeda, was a physician. And Joseph Mengele, who conducted experiments on concentration camp inmates during World War II, was a physician. So we should not take a lot of encouragement from Dr. Pezeshkian's medical credentials. And sure enough, he is simply a mouthpiece for the mullahs, as he himself has conceded. But even if Pezeshkian is not much of an improvement, as to matters that are not within the control of the regime, things do seem much improved. For the first time since I started addressing gatherings like this in 2009, we can be less concerned with the possibility that the regime may get an atomic bomb. Those ambitions were dashed in the past several weeks. We can also take encouragement from the fact that the Europeans have started the process of putting in place the snapback sanctions that the regime has been dreading, and that will likely make its precarious economic situation even shakier. Even before those sanctions go into effect, the regime cannot even provide its citizens with reliable supplies of electricity and water. I don't think it's an overstatement to say that conditions are more favorable now for the collapse of the regime than they have been in decades. Unfortunately, one symptom of this good news is the bad news, that the regime has reverted to an accelerated campaign of executions and repression as the only way of trying to stay in control. However, even in the face of this brutality, the Iranian people demonstrate against the regime and make it clear that they blame the regime and not the nations opposing the regime for the harsh conditions in the country. There are several things that we can do from outside the country to help bring about better days for the Iranian people. First, we should make it clear to our own governments that the only alternative for the Iranian people and the rest of the world to live with is regime change.
Regime change in Iran by the people of Iran!
Second, we should make it clear that that change must be complete and reject the suggestion of self-serving fools like the son of the Shah and members of his clique, that people in the IRGC and the MOIS can help establish a new order in Iran, or that his connection to the corrupt regime of the Shah have given credentials for leadership in a new government.
اعتبار میدن برای رهبری یک حکومت جدید.
We must make it clear to the media that he has no standing whatsoever to claim leadership authority.
رهبری خودش رو اعلام بکنه. منظور بچه شاه است.
Third, we should prepare for the day when the mullahs and those who support them can be made to face justice by compiling a record by testimony and documentation of what they did. The massacres, the phony trials, the executions, so that the evidence is at hand. And finally, we should make it clear that any new order must be based on principles of democracy and equality of all men and women before the law and non-nuclear government, principles that are outlined by Mrs. Rajavi in her 10-point plan. In short, this is the time to redouble our efforts against the regime and to prepare for the day when those efforts succeed. The people in Ashraf who are watching this rally already know this. We have to get the message to that outside the country and to the world at large. Thank you very much for being here.